Yo, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNI toy review. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Super 7 ThunderCats Ultimates Thundertank. Now, I did an unboxing video last week, a live stream unboxing video of this, but now that I've had a chance to fool around with it more and stuff, I'm going to give you a more in-depth review. Also, during this review, I will give you a look. I'm not going to do a full-on review of this, but I'll give you a look at the new Thundercats Ultimates Invisible Tigra figure, also from Super 7. So let's head on over to the review studio and take a closer look at these. Now for the packaging on the Thundertank, they've given us, it's a fairly decent sized box that has some really nice artwork on the front of it. It's the same artwork on both sides of the packaging, but again, I think it's really cool and reminiscent of the original toy line. And then on the sides of the packaging, it just gives us a look at the various features that are on the actual vehicle. Now, it should be noted that there is no type of instruction manual included with this. So you basically want to make sure you look over the features on the box here, because that's all you're going to get as far as showing you how everything kind of works. Okay, so before we take a closer look at the tank itself, let's get a quick look at the accessories that come with it. So first of all, you get this thing of Thundrillium. This is just a solid piece of plastic. It's hollow. And so really all you can do with it is just kind of set it next to the tank. There's really actually no place to put it inside the tank. So, I mean, you can set it in there technically, but there's not an actual place inside the tank to store this. So this is really just something kind of made for looks that you, again, can just kind of set aside next to the tank if you want. Next, you get this Samo flange tool. I think that's how you say it. Basically a wrench for Panthro to use to fix the tank. Now, this is really, again, just kind of something that you can have your Panthro figure hold. Now, I think the Panthro figure that Super 7 did came with some extra tools. This is the Mattel Panthro figure. I never got the Super 7 one. But I do think Panthro from Super 7 came with some additional stuff. But as it is, you can basically just have them hold it, but there's not like an engine block or anything like that that can be revealed on the tank for you to like actually do work on. So again, this is really just something more for looks. And then the final accessory is you get a second canopy top. So you get this one that's attached to the tank when you take it out of the box, which is done with a solid plastic. But if you want to be able to see your figures and still have an actual cover on top, they've given you this translucent plastic top. So again, you can still see the figures inside. You also, of course, can just have no top at all if you want to. But again, they have given you this extra one that is made of clear plastic. Okay, now let's take a look at the inside of the tank. So first of all, you've got the driver's seat in the front. It's a two-seater, so you've got the driver and the co-pilot, and you have some controls. The controls don't move or anything, but you have handles. You have this thing, which I believe turned in the cartoon. You've got some readout displays on the front panels there, and also some displays on the side. You've got some sculpting detail there on the seats, and you have the control, the throttle there in the middle, which again doesn't actually move, it's just sculpted. And then again on this side you have some additional controls. Okay, now moving to the back. So first of all, you have the cannon that raises up, and it doesn't shoot anything or anything like that. It does have holes in the barrels, but there's no projectiles or anything to shoot out. You've got the controls on the back of the gun that looks like a tiger paw, and you got the little screen and stuff, which is blank. But and again, has controls. Now these, you can actually turn these handles. You can actually turn in and out a little bit, so you do get some movement there. But in the gun, you can elevate it up and down, and you can rotate it all the way around. You have two pegs there on the elevated base for the figures to stand on and shoot the gun. This is not removable though, and you basically, if you want to close the top, you do have to push the gun down. There is no way to have the gun up. It would have been kind of cool if maybe they'd made something where you could lift these out so that the gun could pop up and you could still have the doors closed. Like in the front of the tank, you've got readouts and displays and stuff sculpted on the sides of the wall. You've got some controls on the seats. And you got pretty nice sculpting detail with the seats. So the back seats 4 different figures. So you can basically get your entire primary team of Thundercats into the tank if you want. And then on this side, once again, you have additional readouts and controls. On the front of the tank, you have this big laser cannon that opens up. This front piece here is loose. It almost feels like it's supposed to pull out, but it doesn't. So again, it doesn't really do anything other than, you know, you can lift it up so it looks like it's shooting up into the air. And then you have a little compartment in there, but not much you can really do with that. And if you were to close this, then you really couldn't keep anything in there. You also have the claws, so those lift up. And you once again have cannons underneath there. Now these you can have point straight, or you can have them elevate upward. So you do get a little bit of movement with those. They do not pull out or anything, but again, they do elevate. And you have that on both sides. You have the wheels. So if you want the claws up and still have it roll, you can do that. And then of course the mouth also opens, so you can open it up. You can stick a figure in there if you want to. It's just solid here with these black stripes. But again, the mouth is articulated on the front of the tank, so you can open it or close it. Now the treads you have are made of the rubber material, and they're supposed to move, but they really don't move that well. They're very tight, and I'll put this on the floor and give you a look at that. Okay, now if you watched my unboxing video last week, then you know the biggest problem I had was that the tracks don't seem to actually roll very well. And I've tried loosening them as much as possible, and I still really haven't got them to work that great. So I've got it here on a concrete floor, so this is really kind of where you're going to get the best type of traction for it. And you can see that it really doesn't move that well, and that's with me kind of pushing down on the back. So it moves a little bit, but just not really that well. So the tracks, which are made with a rubber material, are, they just don't roll they're so tight that they just don't really move that well. So I don't know if that's just with mine or what, but if you want your tank to actually have moving tracks, I don't think you're going to really get quite that effect with this. Now, on the upside of this, if you're going to put this on a shelf or something, you at least don't have to worry about it rolling off the shelf. If these moved like really well, you might have to worry about it actually rolling off the shelf or something. So that's at least not a problem you're going to have to deal with. Here's a look at the back of the tank. So these look like hatches that are supposed to open, but they don't. They're just sculpted. And then you also have these vents on both sides. So overall, pretty nice detailing for the tank, but there's nothing here that you can actually do in the back. Now, one of the other features the tank has is the eyes here in the front, which act as the headlights for the tank. They glow in the dark. It has a greenish glow, which I'll show you here. I will tell you that when they show off the feature on the packaging, it looks more like they're actually lit up. They're much brighter than I've been able to get them to glow. I actually feel like it would have been nice if they had actually made these just light up as opposed to glow. But let me turn the lights down. And you can see here the greenish glow that they give off. And I've had it in a darker room, and it may be a little bit brighter than what you're seeing here. But again, not nearly as bright as what you see on the packaging. Alright, so as far as measurements go, the width of it is right about 18 inches, and then the height of it is, let's say, just a little bit over 8 inches. The length of it is roughly about 26 inches. And then I sat it on a scale, and it weighed in a little bit over 13 pounds. Okay, so here's a look at all of your ThunderCats in front of the Thundertank, and I would say that they scale pretty well with the tank. And of course, these are 7-inch scale figures. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'd give you a look at the new ThunderCats Ultimates Invisible Tigra figure released by Super7. So this figure mimics Tigra's ability to turn invisible, of course. And overall, it's a pretty cool figure. However, I do want to note on mine, you've got this big white blotch above his ThunderCat symbol, which looks pretty bad. He has the white striping and stuff on the translucent plastic throughout the figure. And again, the ThunderCat symbol is supposed to be white, but it looks like they screwed up with the paint, at least on mine, so that you've got a big blotch there on the top. The accessories and everything are the same that came with the regular figure. This is the same Tigra figure that we got before, only now with translucent plastic. Okay, so now I've got all the figures, well, not all of them, but as many as I can fit in the tank. So I've got Panthro in the driver's seat here, and he fits fairly well. Now again, I should note this is the Mattel Panthro, not the Super7. Same with Lion-O, but overall he fits pretty decent. The figures definitely fit better in the front seats than they do in the back. Now I've got, you can see here, the figure manning the gun station. It's not a great fit. The pegs are so close to the actual gun that you can't really have the figure holding the handles and standing properly. You know, he's pressed up pretty good against the cannon there, so you can kind of make it work, but it's not a perfect fit. And then as for the figures in the seats in the back, you know, you can make it work, but they don't sit perfectly. You know, most of the butts are kind of lifted off the ground just because of the figure's articulation, so they don't get in perfect seated positions. But again, you can see I've got them all in there pretty good. Now, if you start rolling the tank around and stuff, you know, these figures are easily going to fall out of these seats in the back here. So just something to note there. And here I've repositioned Lynxo a little bit better on the cannon, so the cannon is pointed upward. But again, getting him to actually hold the handles on the back there and keeping the feet in the pegs is not terribly easy with how close the pegs are to the cannon itself. And now I've added a couple of extra figures. So I've got Lynxo now standing over here, and I've got Bengali standing over here. There's no pegs or anything, so you just have to kind of stand them in there. But if you want to put extra ThunderCats in the back, you can. And even with them standing, you can still close the top without any problem. And putting the front canopy on, whether it's the solid or the clear plastic one with the figures inside, is also no problem. The top fits on there, and you've got plenty of headspace in there with the figures sitting. Okay, so that's my review. And to be honest, I've got mixed emotions about this one. So on the one hand, you know, I knew pretty much what I was getting, and except for the treads not rolling as well as they probably should, I think this delivers pretty much everything that was advertised about it. The downside here is the price of it. It is $475, and when you compare it to other similar type items like, say, the G.I. Joe Classified HasLab Hiss tank that only costs $300, and you know it's going to come with multiple figures and has electronics and stuff, it does seem like, you know, it is a little bit lacking for the price that it costs. But again, I knew going in what I was getting, and like I said, other than the treads not rolling as well, I feel like they did a pretty good job of delivering what they had advertised. And I do think it makes a cool display piece for your ThunderCat figures. So if you're a big ThunderCat fan, even with the higher price, you know, this is something that you might want to consider adding to your collection. But definitely, I would have loved to have seen like light up headlights as opposed to the glow in the dark ones. And as always, I'd love to hear your own thoughts about the tank down in the comments section below. If you're so inclined, please think about liking this video. And if you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing and hitting the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. As always, guys, stay safe out there. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.